Shout
Absolutely.
out to being Bobby Brown, because if
Being
it
Bobby
wasn't
Brown.
for being Bobby
Period.
Brown, there would be no us.
We would not be sitting here today.
We should end
Period.
the show on this moment.
That's it. Mic drop. Boom.
Welcome to Black Nostalgia, where we celebrate the best of Black pop culture from the past and the present. I am your host, Tracee J, and this is my fabulous co-host, BB Love.
Hey y'all, what's good? It's everybody's favorite plus size fashionista and millennial auntie. Hey y'all.
Each week we will dive into iconic music, movies, TV shows, and moments that have shaped our community. So sit back and relax and join us as we take a trip down memory lane with Black Nostalgia. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, a comment, follow us on all social media, all of that. But let's get into today's topic. Today we are going to be talking about Black people and their impact in reality TV.
I'm still in the motherfucking house. I'm still in the motherfucking house. I don't give a fuck. Do I look like I give a fuck? Because I don't.
BB, what are some of your favorite reality TV shows? Give me your top 3.
My top 3?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay. So top 3, it would have to be The Real World, and I'll even narrow it down to New York and LA. Okay. And then Real Housewives of Atlanta. Oh my gosh. And I probably would have to say Making the Band.
Yes.
Diddy's making the band. Let me clarify. Diddy's making the band, but yes.
So Making the Band 2, 3, or 4?
I would have to say 2 and 3.
2 and 3. Okay.
2 and 3.
All right.
Because that's Danity Kane and Day 26, right?
Nope. 2 is the band.
2 is the band. So what was 1?
Old Town. That wasn't with Diddy.
Right. That wasn't Diddy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's what I meant. Okay. So Old Town, the band. So no, it's Danity Kane and Day 26 are my favorites. I like the band too, but no. I just rewatched Danity Kane's Making the Band. So
love it. I would say the ones that I go back and rewatch all the time. I do love The Real World, but there are, it goes by season, which ones I love. I really love Back to New York, the season with Coral. Okay. And I did like Boston back in the day. I really liked Boston. But my favorite reality shows, like you said, Real Housewives of Atlanta. I have never missed an episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta. I like Potomac too, but Atlanta is superior.
Yeah.
You can call me what you want, but I don't watch the other ones. I'm sorry.
Me
I
either.
like representation. So
me either.
I don't feel like I can relate to them, so I just don't watch it. Making the Band. I watch Making the Band probably once a year. I'll go back on YouTube and watch, but I love the band. The band is just iconic. That was crazy. We're gonna get into that too.
Yeah.
It's a little hard because I love the Braxtons. I do love the Braxtons. Yeah, I can watch that. I can binge watch that and just crack up. It's very, very entertaining to me. But there's so many more. Being Bobby Brown only had 10 episodes, but I watched them 10 episodes over and over and over and over again.
TV gold.
Yes, it was. We are going to get into all of these reality shows and then some. And let us know in the comments, what are your favorite reality shows? Which ones did you want to be on? If you auditioned for any, let us know. Okay, so when it comes to reality TV and Black people in reality TV, the first people we ever saw that looked like us on a reality show, which I don't even think they were called reality shows because that word wasn't invented. It was like a docu-series type of thing, was Kevin Powell and Heather B.
Yeah.
Because The Real World was the first reality show as we know it today. And they were so different. You know, Kevin Powell intellectual. He was super smart. This is coming up off of the Rodney King verdict. You know, they were put in this house and the tension, you know, he was very, very pro-Black. He still is.
Yes, he was.
And then you have Heather B, who was a little younger. She was a little bit more fun. She was a rapper, and she was like a signed rapper. She wasn't just trying to be a rapper. She was a signed rapper being on this reality show. And I thought it was so weird that she had a cat. I don't know. I just
no, because we usually don't do cats.
We don't.
Excuse me for the stereotype, but we're usually not cat people. That was crazy. But she loved her cat.
She did love her cat. And I just remember the first episode where her beeper went off.
I felt like I had to help Julie in a sense because when the first night I met her, she thought I was a drug dealer.
Go ahead. Beeper.
You sell drugs. Why do you have a beeper?
So it was like, you know, I knew she was into stereotypes. I knew she had no idea how I grew up.
They became best friends, but yes, that beeper comment, that beeper thing was just like, whoa, like I knew right then and there, okay, I'm tuning in every week. Cause yes, how are y'all gonna get her together about this beeper comment?
And you know, it was ignorant to say even then, because I think now we talk about people are so sensitive or whatever, but that was a big deal that she said that. You just accused that girl of selling drugs. And I know that she was joking and she was just agreeing and didn't realize what she was saying. But that was a stereotype that if you were a young Black person with a pager, you sold drugs.
Right.
Because the only people that carried, my mom used to tell me, only people that should have a beeper are drug dealers and doctors. If you ain't either one, so you don't get a beeper. I'm like, dang it.
I was gonna say, because we wanted one, right? I couldn't wait to get a pager. I could not wait to get a pager. And my mother was saying the same thing. What do you need a pager for? Don't nobody need to get a hold of you. Now look at us walking around with cell phones attached to our bodies.
Yeah, that sparked a lot of controversy. And then also with the same cast member, Julie, and I like Julie. I do.
I did. Look, it was a bless her heart.
Yes. But when she got into it with Kevin out on the street.
Look at Los Angeles.
What are you going to do? Hit me?
No. And there you go. You said that yesterday. Why do you assume? Because I'm a Black man, I'm going to hit you? That's what you assume? Yes, you do.
And it was right after the verdict.
Yeah.
It was hot. It was hot. And he came off as an angry Black man, you know?
He did.
And he really wasn't. He wasn't an angry Black man. Had a lot to be mad about.
Yes, he did. And like he said, he was just trying to get his point across. And we are a passionate people, so we get loud, we get animated, we get excited. And what rubbed me the wrong way, like, what year did that come out? Like, we were still kids, like
92, I believe.
So 92, I was not even 10 years old yet, but I remember it. And I remember being mad for Kevin because she kept saying, why are you getting so close? Why are you getting so angry? Stop yelling. Why? Yes, back up. And it was just like, girl, he is not going to hurt you. But it was that Karen, white woman tears situation where somebody walking by could have called the police. Somebody in the building could have said something, and that could have been so different. And he was just trying to explain something to her, and she was not like hearing him or getting his point of view because all she could see was that he was loud, he was in her face, and he was getting animated. And I felt so frustrated for him. And then doing research and rewatching it as an adult, I was like, wow, like that. It was crazy that was on TV. Like, and I just loved them for it. It was real, and I loved them for that. I loved MTV for that.
Yes. And then we get into season 2, where it was a little bit more, you know, I guess because they went to California, they thought it wasn't going to be so controversial and rugged, but baby.
Yes, it was.
We're in for it, okay? Because we're introduced to Miss Tammy Roman. At that time, she was Tammy Akbar. And David Edwards. I think that's his last name. So. And he played, if you guys don't know, he played Stinky in House Party 3. So he was a working comedian. He's very good friends with Dave Chappelle to this day, I believe. They came up together in the comedy scene and in DC. But he was a goofball, and he was a bit of to me, he was a bit of a coon if you compare him to like Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
He irritated me.
He was a complete opposite. And hearing you say that, I wonder if that was on purpose.
I bet your bottom dollar it was. I think that Kevin was too intense. I don't think when they casted Kevin that they thought that he was going to be this passionate. And again, it was around the Rodney King time. So we wasn't taking that. We was mad, you know? And it's crazy that they went. Just imagine if the Rodney King verdict would have been when they were filming The Real World.
In LA. Yeah. That would have been crazy.
That would have been crazy. But Tammy was fly.
Oh, so fly. So fly. She is one of my favorites to this day. I named her season of The Real World as, you know, one of my all-time favorites because of Tammy. I love her. Hey, girl, if you're watching, somebody send this to Tammy. We love you.
I've been a Tammy Roman fan since 1993, since she was in that girl group, since she had the little short. Remember when she was on Studs? Do you remember Studs, the dating show?
Yes, and she was trying to get her little date. Oh, I love Tammy so much. She was so fun. She was everything I wanted to be when I grew up.
And she was so raw. People talk about her weight and things like that now, but she suffers really from body dysmorphia, people. Like, this is she's not playing, because back then she wired her mouth shut. You know how crazy
you gotta be, or trying to lose weight.
She was beat. Her body was banging when she was on. She would be on the treadmill all day and stuff on TV. And I get it. She's like, "Oh, I don't want to be on TV looking like this." But she is a victim in so many ways. I know she doesn't carry herself as that, but she's gone through so much. So I can see how things may have shaped her way of thinking. So I hope she is happy with the way she looks. And I hope she continues to thrive and get help, because she is beautiful. She's beautiful at any size, in my opinion. Now let's talk about the big controversy of that season, because it takes on a new meaning in today's society.
It does.
I think. So what we're talking about is when David pulled the covers off of Tammy and she was in her panties and bra. And back then, I remember, I don't know if you remember, people like, "Oh, well, she's laughing. It was just funny. It wasn't, she took it too far. He didn't try to do anything to her. She accused this black man of rape and blah, blah, blah." All of that is false. Okay.
Right.
You know, yes, she was laughing, but that is a nervous laugh. Like, "I can't believe this is happening right now. What are you doing? Stop."
Right.
He immediately got mad once she was able to, like, when she ran into the bathroom. She processed it. And she never accused him of rape or being a rapist. That was Beth. Marine. That was not Tammy. Tammy just said,
"It wasn't Tammy.
Stay in the house. I don't want to stay in the house." That's all she said, which is fair.
It's fair.
I want to have to worry about somebody ripping the covers off of me, and they're like, "Well, she had on, you know, what you would wear, a bikini," and
at the beach, right?
No.
She was in her undergarments and she said, "Stop." Point blank. End of conversation. She said, "Stop." Whether I'm laughing or not, I said, "Stop." You're supposed to stop. You're supposed to stop. And it wasn't, in Tammy's words, it wasn't not funny. It wasn't not funny. But it wasn't funny. And they were laughing, and the guys thought it was funny. Beth took it to 2,500, but still. She instigated a lot of it.
She instigated a lot of it. She did help Tammy, though. I
She
will
did.
give her that. She
And
did
she was
help her.
trying to keep her
Her
covered.
like, oh girl, I'll give you a towel. Let me go get you another
Right.
blanket, whatever. So I do, kudos to Beth in that sense. But Beth did put 10 on 20.
She did.
She took it to another level. And again, that didn't even happen to her. So for her to accuse this Black man of rape is crazy. Now, did he somewhat sexually assault her? Kind of. He violated her body. Yeah, I think it's he definitely violated her body. And if that were to happen now, it would be so different.
Oh my God, it would be over for him.
They would have nailed him.
It would have been over for him. I feel like it started out as like a playful situation on both parts. He tugged at the covers a little bit. She googled and said stop, and he's like, "What, you naked under there?" And it went a little further, but by the time she got dragged down the hallway, like it went way left, way too far. It was like you took it way too far. It was like, okay, cute, haha, stop. And I think that's why Tammy felt like he doesn't know when to stop. Yeah. So I don't feel safe. Yeah, I don't feel safe. And it could be in a sexual way. It could be, you drink too much and you don't know when to stop. It just could have went so many different ways. And I don't know this man. We are strangers, living in this house. I don't know I can't remember how long they had been in the house when that happened, but still it was like, you doing too much.
And then come to find out, we didn't know this at the time, but Tammy and her friend had been kidnapped and raped at gunpoint for like days. I think they were kidnapped for days, like right before Real World. So, girl, like that is really surprised. Fight him, especially. I mean, we know now. She would have put them paws on him. That's probably why she fights good.
Probably. Probably because she had to literally fight for her life. So yeah.
Because I don't want to see Tammy's hands.
No, absolutely not.
No, I'm good. I'm sorry, sis.
Right.
One thing I want to say about The Real World is it seems like they make a habit, or they made a habit, of casting a lot of Black men who didn't like Black women. And that was a little bothersome to me. Yeah. It wasn't always, but it was a few, Cyrus, Steven, he liked white men, though. He tried to act like he wasn't gay and he slapped that girl.
Yes. So Steven and Cyrus, both of them were very problematic for me. I didn't like either one of them at all.
Neither one.
At all. Neither one. But Karamo was everything.
My boy. Karamo was
everything. And I felt like he shattered a glass ceiling. Yes. Just being a masculine gay man on TV. He was not flamboyant. I remember the jaw drop of finding out that he was gay, a gay Black man, because, he wasn't extra and he wasn't flamboyant in the way he dressed and in the way he talked. Like you would have never thought. And that's because we had all these preconceived notions and ideas of what gay was. That I just thought he was so dope. He was so cool. And it opened my eyes to realize, we're not a monolith. Nobody is a monolith, whether you're Black, gay, straight, male, female. There's no monolith. We're all so different. And it's okay to be different. You don't have to fit the stereotype or the mold of what people expect. So I loved Karamo for that.
Exactly. I clocked it before he said it. I clocked it, and my friends thought I was crazy. My friends thought I was
crazy. You must got some good gaydar, because I did not.
I clocked it. My friends thought I was tripping. I said, I don't know, y'all, because he was the first openly gay Black man on TV, right? I mean, on reality TV.
On reality TV, yes, I think so.
Yes. Because Steven, who came out later, he was not out.
No, and then was it Pedro who was on?
Yeah, Pedro was Latino,
but he was Latino. So yes, Black. I think Karamo was it. Shout out to
Yes.
Pedro, rest in peace.
Yeah. Oh gosh. I know this black nostalgia, but shout out to
Yeah.
Pedro. And
Yeah.
his husband Sean, he passed too.
Oh,
So,
did he? I didn't know that.
he passed too. They both were HIV positive, no, Pedro had AIDS. I'm not sure if Sean did, but that always gets me emotional. Like,
it does.
But Karamo, he was so brave to say that on TV. And he said he had been out since he was 15. So, you know, people around him knew, but it was very brave of him to really give people an identity. The point of these reality shows is to find someone that you can relate to see yourself on television. You know, I saw myself in Coral because I have always been very outspoken. I've always been like, you ain't gonna do that or say that to me. You know, so when Coral, I remember people used to tell me in high school, oh, you remind me of that girl Coral. I'm like, okay, thank you. That's a compliment because she don't take no shit.
More rude because you're telling me that they're your friends and you talked about them like dogs, like whores.
I'm talking them like dogs or whores.
Okay. Call him right now and tell him you call him so stupid that when you talk to him, you feel dumber. Call her and tell her that. And see what she's more offended by. Me saying peace or you, her friend, calling her stupid.
And she was smart. She was pretty. She was, you know, she stood on business. She wasn't messy. She would just gather you.
Get you together real quick. Real quick. I probably saw myself a lot more in, what was the girl that did the makeup?
Oh, Nicole.
Yes, she was so quiet and soft-spoken, and that's how I used to be. I think I've changed a lot over the last 10 years. I always say 30 to 40 for me was something crazy, but I was more like her, and she was like a little on the thicker side. She was super cute, super pretty, but not that memorable because she kind of faded into the shadows. I remember her for her makeup and just being there. In the eyebrows. I can't even shade her because my eyebrows used to be penciled in. Why did we think that was cute? And I got a big forehead. I had no business with my eyebrows being that thin.
Well, my eyebrows, I naturally have thick eyebrows. So I'm like, girl.
What were we thinking? Why was that cute? Okay, so back to Karamo really quick. That police harassment episode, another groundbreaking MTV moment. And another groundbreaking real world moment and very triggering. Very triggering.
They are now taking me.
But just calm, breathe. No, but
yo, just go get landed. I'm done. I don't want to talk about this right now. Trust me. I don't want to talk about this. Trust me. With all these cops in my face, I don't want to talk about this right now.
Are you yelling? You're yelling, right?
What? I'm in a club chilling, dancing.
Somebody made a prank call.
No, go get landed and we'll talk later.
And him being there with his friends that were white and them not realizing how upsetting that was for him. Like they just didn't get it and they just kept telling him to calm down. Don't tell me to calm down. Like, why were the police called on me? I was just in there laughing, dancing, having a good time, just like y'all. And somebody called the police and said they think I have a gun. Why? Because I'm black, because I have on a do-rag, like, because I'm tall. Why do I look suspicious? And they just did not get it. Like, I don't think, like, I wish they had like reunions and stuff like they do now for these reality shows where they could go back and look at that and educate and discuss. I think it might have helped a lot of things because it was like that one episode and then it was never talked about again, at least not amongst white people. I felt like we talked about it, but white people weren't talking about that because, of course, they felt like Karamo was overreacting. But just for all of that to be caught on TV, like, I will commend MTV and the real world for definitely being real reality TV.
Yes. To your point, when you said the reunion, did you watch during COVID when they did the reunions for New York, New Orleans?
I saw clips because I didn't have Paramount, so I couldn't watch them. I was real excited about it. I think I did get somebody's login so that I could watch Tammy and them, but I don't think I got through the whole thing because I definitely could not miss Tammy and David
Did you see that?
addressing. I saw that.
Okay.
But the rest of them I didn't see.
Go back and watch those 3 seasons. New York, you will really enjoy.
Okay.
To me, that was very heartwarming.
Did everybody come back?
Everybody came back, but Eric's niece tested positive for COVID, so he couldn't come in the house. So he was still at a hotel, and he would come and they would have live stream him. Yeah, and it was kind of sad because him and Heather B have this like tight relationship. Remember when he was taking out her braids?
Yes, that was iconic. We keep saying that word and we do not use it lightly, but that was iconic for me. Maybe not for nobody else.
It was.
A white boy on national TV helping a black girl take out her braids.
It was dookie braids.
It don't get no doper.
No. They were.
It does not get any doper like that. Man, shout out to MTV. Y'all did y'all big one with that.
And they
were just being real. They were building real bonds. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Yeah. They were building real bonds with each other. Like they came in as 7 complete strangers.
Picked to live in a house.
And watch what happens when things get real. And it was so real. It was so dope. And Heather B had that song about date rape. You remember that? She did a rap. Oh my God. Her and what's the face went to the studio and
I wish I had my gun, I would have shot him dead. But we filled out the papers and left instead. Could you believe that? Just our luck. I then said to myself, the system sucks. The record that I was working on this week is called The System Sucks. It deals with date rape. You know, that's the concept of the record. And it deals with the system.
Oh, and she was recorded. And it was a song about...
Oh, no. Yes, I do remember.
It was a song about date rape. Like, y'all, get out of here with this new reality because, please. Heather B in the real world peeps that we love, they were everything and way ahead of their time. They don't get the flowers they deserve.
No. And I do want to shine light on Heather B a little bit because we talked about Tammy and the things that she's done. Yeah. But Heather B has stayed working. Okay. She has several shows. She's on Sway in the Morning Show. She has XM, one of her shows on XM. I always hear her voice. I always hear her songs coming on Sirius XM. So I think she has 3 shows. She was saying because while she was filming the reunion, she was like, oh, I got to go work. I got to go do my thing. And she would take her little laptop in her room and do her show. So yeah, shout out to Heather B. I think she's a chef. She's a bartender. She's
a chef and a bartender. Yeah,
everything. She's everything, and she has kept her spirit. She was always seemed like that homegirl, that big sister that would fight for you and laugh with you. She's a good one. She was a very good example for us, and that I think was lacking in reality television now. Not only do we not see people that reflect us, our real selves, there's not many good examples for these kids. We were 7, 8, 9 years old watching this stuff, looking like, okay, I could do that because she does that.
And wanted to so bad.
Oh my gosh. I wanted to be in the real world. So bad. Oh my gosh. It wasn't until I think 2002 where we get our first reality TV show where all Black people, and that was Making the Band.
Sign y'all to the bad boy family. You ain't signing your life away, but you are signing into a contract. But it's like a marriage, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you want to do this. Make sure you have read the fine print, because once you're in, it ain't no way out, no.
I can't recall a reality show with an all-Black cast until that. That was the first.
That was the first.
As slimy as Puffy is, he was groundbreaking in that sense. He was. But as slimy as Puffy is, he also used this opportunity to exploit and humiliate an all-Black cast. Before that, they weren't getting humiliated on reality TV. Not in that sense.
Not in
that
that
they
sense.
get a little bit of respect. And I feel like now I watch it back and it's a little cringy.
Yeah, definitely.
I always thought the cheesecake walk, I'm like, why are they really complaining? Like, you guys didn't have to grind to get here in the first place. So the walk, y'all being ungrateful.
You could possibly, I'm starving too. You know something? I want me a piece of cheesecake.
But he had them in a small hotel room. This is after they made the band. A small hotel room with 6 people. You got 2 women, grown women in there. He gave them 1 toothbrush, Britt. 1 toothbrush. Dude, I'm going home. I'm going home.
That's how I felt. I said, these fools is crazy because ain't no way. I don't want it that bad. That's what the reaction that I would get. Oh, that's because you don't want it that bad. They hungry. They got to get it. No, you're making a fool out of me. And my mama taught me better than that.
It took them like 4 to 6 hours, I think, to walk to Brooklyn to get that cheesecake. Only because I think they went from Manhattan to Brooklyn. And I'm not a New York girly, but that don't sound close.
No, it's not close. It wasn't close. And that was so ridiculous to me. I was like, Diddy, you power tripping. A Negro with power don't never know how to act. And now we know.
Well, he
don't know how to act in real life.
He was probably off that booger sugar during a lot of that stuff. Now in hindsight is 2020.
Yes.
But the cast was still amazing. And unbeknownst to us, they had grind. They were on the grind before they were on there. A lot of them had deals. A lot of them were out making waves, doing stuff. So they weren't just nobodies. But the group, people blame Dylon, people blame Freddie, but I think Puff didn't want them to be successful.
No.
He had talent in all of those people, and he didn't want them to be successful. He did want a successful reality show.
That I was just about to say the same thing. He got what he wanted out of the situation. We gonna play like we gonna do this, but really, and you could tell by the way he treated them, because he definitely switched it up when it came to the girls when he did Danity Kane, because he had them doing some crazy stuff, but at least some of it made sense. Like he had them running, what was it, 5 miles or whatever, that kind of stuff made sense. But the way he treated the band, and they were all super talented. They were all dope artists. And the way he treated them, you could tell it was just for the reality TV antics, so to speak. And it was unnecessary, because we see that you could do it without all of that. And people still tuned in and wanted to watch and wanted to be a part. And we had our picks of who we were rooting for, who we wanted to make it into the group, and, all of that.
Yeah. So I think the biggest difference between the cast was that he's not dealing with an all-black cast anymore. When he got to Danity Kane,
hey, I didn't even think about that.
He couldn't scream and yell and cuss at these people.
Do that.
He could cuss at Babs and Sarah, but he couldn't cuss at Aubrey
and Andrea
and all the other little white girls that weren't on the cast. He couldn't do that.
You are so right. I didn't even think about that. You are so right.
Yeah. So he knows how to act, and he knows when to turn it on and turn it off. And that just, to me, that just proves what all of his artists say about him, because he deals with a lot of Black artists who need him, and he probably talks to all of them and treats all of them how he treated the band.
Yeah. Which
is not right.
Crazy. Somebody need to talk to Machine Gun Kelly, see how he doing.
I forgot about him.
Yeah.
Well, he drinking blood and stuff, so I don't know.
Well, there you go. Enough said. Enough said. But you know who's going to have an amazing tell-all if they live to write it?
Who?
Miss Lorianne Gibson, girl. Because I know she knows some stuff. I know she's seen some stuff. Yes, God, send your angels to protect her, because I hope she lives to write it. Because everybody else, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but some things just make sense, and a lot of them didn't make it to write their tell-all. So, Lorianne, shout out to you, girl. I'm praying for you, sis.
I heard she dated Andre Harrell in the beginning.
Probably.
Like her and Andre, when she was dancing for, she was doing choreo for Mary and all that, like like real love, like early stuff. And I heard she was his girlfriend. So she knows a lot. She knows a lot. And even that argument between her and Puff, it's so cringy.
I ain't never bossed you around in no way. I never did nothing but try to empower your career, the whole thing. You know what I'm saying?
But you don't empower a person by calling them a bitch.
Okay, don't go with that. That's not gonna work.
But I'm telling you.
That one's not gonna work. You know what I'm talking about. Let's go to where it's at. You know what I'm saying? Don't go back to what happened in the argument. I'm not bringing up everything you said in the argument. Keep it all the way funky. You know
I am keeping it funky,
all the way funky. Let's keep it all the way funky. I didn't do nothing but put you on. That's all I did.
You put me on.
That's all I did. No, I'm not saying I'm responsible for your career.
Right.
I'm not.
It's so cringy.
Like she just, and I love New Edition. All of them. But what it grinds my gears when I watch that scene and Michael Bivins is like, Lori, be respectful. You gotta be respectful. It's like, to who? He disrespected me. He ain't about to son me. This is my peer. No. This is not my boss. This is my peer.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I know her and Puff, they made up and whatever. But yeah, I can cuss him out just like if he can cuss me out, I'm gonna cuss him out.
Exactly. Like, even that makeup scene was cringy to me. Like, it felt like she was just taking one for the team. It's like, let me suck it up and just, like, you could see it in her eyes. It was like, but you hurt me, Puff. Like, but I want to be here, so I guess. Like, it was.
She do it for the love. She loves to dance.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I just, you're absolutely right. I want to hear a tell all from Lorianne Gibson.
Yes.
So, Lorianne, if you ever watch this, please give us what we want or give us an exclusive interview.
We would love to talk to you and pick your brain. But legend, icon, all of the things. We give you your flowers, Miss Lorianne. From one dance girly to another, we love you. And you are everything, our everything.
And we would have never known her had it not been for that show.
No. Yeah.
Wouldn't have known her on that scale. So I do kudos to her and all of the talent that came from that show. I love we haven't talked about Day 26, but I love Day 26. I feel like they were too talented for the show.
Way.
Because not too many male groups can sing like them.
Girl, each time I try, I just break down and cry. Pain in my head, oh, I'd rather be dead. Spinning around and around, although we come.
They all could blow. They all could lead a song. They had it, but again, Diddy was trying to make a great show, and he wasn't trying to create longevity in their careers, in my opinion.
He fumbled the bag, as usual.
Fumbled the bag.
As usual.
It's always about Diddy, Nobody can be bigger than Diddy on his label. So Making the Band 2 comes out, and then we start seeing a trend in Black reality TV. So BET and Tracee Edmonds, the ex-wife of Tracee Edmonds gonna marry some men, okay? But you know her from being the ex-wife of Babyface. Then she married Eddie Murphy for 5 minutes. And she was with Deion Sanders for like 10 years, but she's a beautiful, smart, talented woman. And she created some great shows, not just reality TV, but College Hill. You said you weren't a fan of College Hill, but the concept of that was more like the real world for HBCUs, and that's brilliant. We talked about some iconic moments on College Hill on the last episode. If you haven't seen that, go watch that. But that went on for I want to say about 6 seasons, and then now they do the celebrity edition. They're not exploited how they were on MTV. You know, this is still the classic BET, where they still have a little bit of integrity as far as how they showcase us. It wasn't a lot of sex. It wasn't any drugs. It wasn't anything like that. It was basic. You ate my ribs, or the one dude was mad at the girl because she ate his ribs. You know, and stuff like that. So
stuff we all can relate to.
Yes, yes. Okay, so we're gonna get into one of my favorite shows.
Which one?
Flavor of Love.
Oh, Jesus.
Were you not a fan?
I was, unfortunately. Guilty pleasure. Because that show was tragic. That was a tragedy. What Martin say? Coolie High was a tragedy. Flavor of Love was a tragedy to me. I feel like everybody had been bit by that reality TV bug. And all those girls, you cannot tell me none of them signed up to really want to be with Flavor Flav. And they all were just trying to get their come up. Let me get on this show and then I'm going to become famous and that's going to be that. And that's exactly what it gave. Oh my God. But I was there for every
moment. Beyonce? That was nasty. A white woman, a black woman on TV. That is when we saw the real Tiffany Pollard.
Yes.
Because she wanted to
kill her.
She was so like disgusted.
Enraged.
She should have been. And I would have probably left the show. That's how I know she really liked Flav, because I think she got on the show and didn't really care. Like, okay, I'm gonna just do this. But you cannot tell me that Tiffany Pollard did not love Flav. She loved Flav. She still talk about him to this day. She said they was doing a bumpty bump, Humpty Hump second night. That's why she was so crazy. Yeah, she was strong. And then I've heard from many sources that he is well endowed.
Okay, so that makes sense. That tracks. Because I think Hoops kind of liked him too.
Now I don't want it.
Not me. It's not for me. But there's somebody for everybody. And I could see them working. Like, I was rooting for New York, aka Miss Tiffany Pollard, but she is Black reality TV royalty. Because Miss New York is a vibe, a whole vibe. And Mama got her own spinoff. And she was everything.
I say everything. New York, Tammy, Nene.
Yep.
Top three.
Top three.
Reality stars. If we want to throw in honorable mentions, I'll throw in like a Jocelyn.
Yes.
Because she gave good moments. I'll even throw in a Tamar. You know, even Tamar be doing too much
got
sometimes.
On everybody's nerves. But we tuned in to see them.
Yes, Kenya Moore. I will throw her in there as well. It's a few girlies, but the top three for me: New York, Tammy, and Nene. They set it off. And people have been trying to imitate or duplicate them.
And you can't, because they were just being themselves.
They were being themselves. And I believe that, you know, Tiffany gave, so on Flavor of Love, New York gave, I don't have female friends.
Yes.
She gave, I find my man and I'm like, my man. And I don't like these girls because girls get on my nerves. I don't really get along with girls. I'm a loner. That's what she gave. And the girls in the house were more like unity, and they didn't like that she was to herself. They really didn't like it. That first argument when she had with that girl in that van, and they asked her a question, and she was like, I really don't feel like talking right now. I just want to be quiet. And they got so mad at her. Well, turn the F around. And you
how are you gonna be on the bus and not talk? Because I'm on the bus and I don't want to talk.
Right.
You can't sit with me.
Attitude's like, okay. So I'm so mad that she did not win. But
me too.
To this day, because I'm like, it must have been set up just for her to have a show, because there's no way that he thought that Hoops and Delicious were better matches for him than New York. Okay.
Right. Hard
Delicious.
eye roll.
Shout out to Detroit, Delicious in Detroit. But when she outsung Crazy, that's one of my favorite moments in reality television. A Black person, because
Period.
Crazy got on my nerves, and I didn't think she was cute, and I didn't think she could sing.
Not at all. Not at all.
And when Delicious brought out that church,
all tuned in. It was the train wreck we could not turn away from.
No. And it, it sparked so many other shows. I Love New York, and even For the Love of Ray J, which I was almost cast on.
What? What?
I was.
Gotta hear that story one day.
One day. One day.
Sure.
Now, Ray J, I would.
What was the brothers? Chance and
Real Chance of Love. You're right.
Yeah, what was his brother's name though?
The Stallionairs.
What was his brother's name?
Real.
Chance and Real. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm. Real has a long hair. Rest in peace to Real.
Yeah.
He was such a beautiful. He looked like a stallion.
Yes.
Didn't he look like a horse? Not in a bad way.
Not in a bad way.
He looked like if a horse turned
chiseled features.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That hair.
That hair. So pretty. So pretty.
Yes. They had I Love Money and all these other shows, and some people still eat off of it. I think Hoops, she did well for herself. She takes care of her family and stuff. Yeah, so, and Tiffany is still Tiffany. So she still gets booked for things, and she's calmed down a lot. She knows the thing about Tiffany, she knows when to turn it on and when to just chill out. So if you watch season 2 of College Hill Celebrity Edition, she's on there along with Jocelyn. They're both on that. Yeah. So it's very interesting.
Sounds fun.
It is. So this is like the wrapping up the early 2000s. We get into family reality TV.
Oh, yes.
The ones we're talking about now are more like competitive. Making the Band was a competition and Flavor of Love was a competition. But we see families being documented like the Osbournes. And yes, they're white, but we were like, what the hell is going on? When I watched the Osbournes, I was like, they are crazy.
They were crazy. Ozzy Osbourne. Like, I had no clue who he was without, because of course he's a rock legend, but I didn't know that as a kid. I knew him from the Osbournes, and he was crazy. I'm like, what kind of drugs is this man on?
Sharon. That's all I remember. And so Black people, we not far behind. We gonna get into it too.
Oh yes. So
we got Reverend Run from the iconic group Run DMC. They are as Ozzy is rock royalty. Run is definitely hip hop royalty.
Yes.
He was probably the first. Him and DMC and Jam Master Jay were probably the first rock stars of hip hop, where they were dressing like them. People were wearing Adidas. I mean, ask any hip hop. If you're a hip hop artist and you don't look at Run DMC as a blueprint, something wrong with you. You need to go back to school, because they did it right and could flow. Like, don't get it twisted. They can flow. They can flow for real. So we get into Run's house. We now see him as Reverend Run. He was Run when he got saved. He became a pastor. He's married to his beautiful wife, Justine. They ended up having 6 kids ultimately, because they adopted Miley, but he had 3 from a previous relationship. So we got to see the step parent dynamic, and she was more like a bonus mom. They always talked about their real mother, and I don't want to say their real mother, but their bio mother, and she would come on the show as well. So it was one big happy family. They never had any controversy.
No.
It was a whole show.
I loved Run's house, and I loved everything that it stood for. like you said, the blended family, showing a blended family on TV. Like it took a few episodes for them to reveal that, or it may have been in the beginning, but I don't remember that. I do remember thinking that they were her kids, and when I found out they weren't, I was just blown away because, like you said, she was
They look
just
like
seemed
her.
like a bonus mom to those kids, and they
Mm-hmm.
had a great relationship with her. I loved Rev Run in the bathtub on his BlackBerry, giving us the motivational moment for the week. Just amazing, positive, Black love,
Yes.
Black family, and it was real. I even loved like how they followed the sisters on their pastry journey, and seeing
Yes.
that come up as an idea on a show to actually being able to go to the shoe store and buy pastries. I remember going to get my little sister a pair of pastry shoes, and that was just the coolest thing to me. Like I loved everything about Run's house, and then even them losing the baby on the show. Like it was just real family moments, and it was so deep, so wonderful. Shout out again to MTV, because Run's house, that was a big deal, and Reverend Run being willing to put his family on Front Street, and showing the good and the bad. I loved it.
But it was never too bad. It was never, they never did anything for TV. You know, Run is naturally funny. You know, he's a jokester and goofball, and Justine is naturally funny to me. She's my favorite. She is hilarious to me. Just the little things she would say. She's not even trying, but she was hilarious. And you know, people say that reality TV is the kiss of death as far as marriages goes, but they are still going strong. They are still going strong. If you follow him on Instagram, all he does is post Justine. That's all he does. Post Justine. Yeah, and this is my wife. I think they celebrated an anniversary recently, so I just saw it on there. But they're still like stuck together like glue, and it's very beautiful. But when they adopted a daughter, like that was so, especially after they lost their baby, it was just so special. And I appreciate shows like that. That's a reality show I can watch with my son. You know, he's watched it. We watched it during COVID. I think we went through the whole thing, and he really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So now he knows who Run DMC is because I made him watch Run's house.
Run's house. Yeah. Yeah.
Diggy's an actor.
Huh?
I said Diggy's an actor now. And
and he was like a little teeny little boy when the show came out. So just seeing them all grow up, and now the girls, you know, have babies like Angela and Vanessa. Like they were just, I don't know. I just love them all.
JoJo's married with 2 children. Yep. So they're all like doing their thing. So shout out to Run's house.
Yep. He raised some good kids.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. What were you going to say about Deion Sanders?
They had a reality show with their family too for a little while that we really loved, and we loved watching it. And him having the adopted son, Florida. Somebody, I don't know if he was like his cousin or how, you know, he ended up getting Florida, but just that whole dynamic and the school and the football team, like all the controversy and stuff that he was going through with that at that time, just him and his mom's relationship. I loved he and Tracee's relationship too. Like I love that their show too. Did it come on OWN? I think.
Yes, it did. So
I think it came on OWN, but I don't even remember the name of it, but I remember their reality show, and that was a good one too.
I remember he had 2 reality shows. He had one with his ex-wife Pollard. It was called, I think, Deion's Playbook or something. And it was when, you know, I don't know their name, Shador and whatever. They were really little. They were very little. Yeah. And it came on, I want to say around 2008-ish.
Okay.
Yeah. So he had 2 shows. I think he got his adopted son because the boy was like good in football. He had a single mom or something and was going through something. That's what I think, but
probably that sounds about right. It was something like that, but yeah.
Another family reality TV show favorite, being Bobby Brown. It was one of the first reality shows to launch the Bravo network. I think at that time they only had like Queer Eye for the straight guy and and Bobby Brown. This was early 2005. I remember I was in my first apartment by myself, and I used to watch it on my little box television. You know, it's all grainy. If you go back to YouTube, you can watch the grainy versions too.
Yes.
But that show sparked some controversy.
A lot of controversy. We got to see America's princess, Miss Whitney Houston, in a real light. And I don't know if we were ready for it. Like, I think we talked about it yesterday. Like, we loved it, but our parents were like appalled that they were doing that. Because, you know, Black people, why are they putting all their business on TV?
I was gonna say
that. So, but we loved it. And again, a train wreck that we couldn't look away from, but they were just being themselves. And I think that was the shock of it all to everybody. Like, we didn't expect them to be such real, regular people. We were used to just seeing the celebrity side. So
I loved every minute. I'm not gonna hold you. I don't see it as a train wreck. I will die on the hill of I will defend that show to the day I die, because here's the thing. Back then, like you said, why are you putting your business out there? Everything had to be glam. We did not, our family and stuff, I don't know about your mom, but my mom is not going out the house looking crazy.
Yeah, no.
My grandma, I will go to her house at 6 a.m. She got her teeth in, her wig on, her makeup on. She ready. I'm like, Grandma, where you going? She's like, oh, the mail's supposed to run at about 11. I'm like, the mail? Like, you waiting for the mail?
The one I get. Like I told you yesterday, my mom lives around the corner, but don't let me come in there like I'm just running around the corner to drop my daughter off or to pick something. Where your earrings at?
Right.
You don't got no lip gloss on? Like, what? I gotta have on earrings to come to your house. So yes, we come from the same era. You got to be right before you step foot out that door, or if somebody's coming over. No. So to see Whitney Houston in the Von Dutch store with no makeup and a dry wig and that visor, baby, that white visor needs to be in the Smithsonian. I'm going to DC this weekend, and I want to know if the white visor is at the Museum of African American History in DC, because baby, that white visor, somebody needs to get it. It don't need to go on nobody's auction block. It better be in a glass case when I get to that museum, because that white visor was everything.
And that wig.
And I didn't know nothing about Von Dutch until I watched Being Bobby Brown, and I had to have me a Von Dutch trucker hat.
Yes. Yeah, she was buying.
When I see my husband in the store, and like, you know, we separate, and then when we find each other, we got to do the dance.
They work me
up to each other, because they were everything, and they were in love. They loved hard. He got on her nerves.
She got on
his nerves.
Remember when he wanted to go on a camping trip with the dudes, and they pulled up. She got a whole car full. She got her friends. She got Bobby Christina. She got a cousin for Bobby Christina in the back.
Exactly.
I'm on my way. I'm on my way
because we're camping too. Bobby Christina with her siblings.
Take me behind that tree and wear me out. I said, "Oh."
Period. America's Princess who? I'm grown, I'm married, and I'm Black, and I'm from Newark. So don't play with me. Don't play with me.
All day through and through. All day through and through.
All day.
I think this is the thing. This is why people think it's a train wreck, because you thought she was out for 20 years at that point. You thought for 20 years that was Whitney Houston.
Yes.
You were wrong.
Yes, we were so wrong.
She's not glam. She don't wear dresses. She never had on a dress. She's a tomboy type of girl. She wears, she likes her sweats, her jogging suits, her hats. She was not a glam girl. She did not like any of that stuff. Never liked any of that stuff. So, she just a home girl. That's why her and Bobby Brown meshed so well. She was a girl from Newark who liked the boys, the boys on the block.
Yeah,
that's very normal.
Yeah.
So, and even though she came from what they say a good family, how good are the Houstons really?
As good as any other family. We all got our issues and isms.
They was no better than the Browns, in my opinion.
No, absolutely not. No better. No better.
Yeah. So I enjoyed the show, I mean, tremendously, because we got to see the raw, rugged. Now with the Kardashians and shows like that, they wake up with a full face of makeup.
Right.
And it's not real.
It's not real.
But on being Bobby Brown, she like, no, when she left him with the kid, went to the bar with Sherelle. You know, that is the video. Fun fact. I posted that clip of her ditching the kids and Bobby and going to the bar with Sherelle on my TikTok page in January 3rd, 2023. I woke up in the morning to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of comments. That is the video that sparked Black nostalgia. Because before I had a TikTok, it was just Tracee TikTok. It was just my personal. I had 300 followers. You know, I was like, oh my God, this went viral. Like now it has 1 million some views on that one video. So I posted another. And then I posted another one. And by, I think, 2 weeks later, I was up to 10,000 followers. And that's what got me to that. I changed it to Black nostalgia. I started posting all this because I always loved talking about Black nostalgia and stuff. So I was like, ooh, it's people who like this stuff too.
Absolutely.
Shout out to being Bobby Brown. Because if it wasn't for being Bobby Brown, you know us.
We would not be sitting here today.
We should end the show on this moment.
That's it. Mic drop. Boom.